good topics laid out and stuff.
We do have some good topics, eh? Let's see if he can keep the topics up without the chat, but while we can see the number of viewers.
Someone compliment my bag.
We are live.
That's
yes,
facts.
we compliment your bag every day. What is
Damn,
that?
Dior?
Dior. Oh,
That's
you
real?
getting money, huh?
Real.
You got a pistol in there?
Nah, I've been with Kim when she cashed out and got some shit before. I've seen her flex in real time.
The other day I was grabbing my bag that had my like weed stuff in it out of my car, and then I noticed a bunch of ladies who work here staring at me, and I was pretty sure that they were staring at me because they thought that I had a gun in it, and I was feeling mad cool.
They were like,
cool.
no, they probably thought you were like a white shooter about to shoot the building up.
Yeah.
Almost
I never
empty
scared.
building. It's like a
the office
terribly
shooter.
inefficient
You would
use
be the
of...
office shooter.
Yeah.
No. For
No,
legal
actually,
reasons,
you're-
I'm going to say no. Oh, you're saying that somebody out of the office would have to be the office shooter?
I mean, I
No.
thought it was you at first, but then I looked over and I saw
I forgot
another
Yuri's.
one.
I forgot you.
He takes the title for that.
You know what's interesting about us, and I'm not entirely against it, is the fact that like no matter what important shit we're supposed to be talking about here, and no matter how
We'll
much we
just
talk
shit
about
on
it
Yuri.
beforehand, we always are gonna start off by either talking about how Yuri is a fucking dummy, how Maloof is eating mac and cheese off a plate.
Yeah.
How else are you supposed to eat it?
He's definitely
on the
get-
floor.
yeah,
Out of a
Right.
bowl.
Or-
I don't know if I
mean, what if
I
you
eat
don't
mac and
have
cheese out of a
bowls?
bowl. I don't like spreading it out all thin like that. Look at that. Ugh. Oh, he got meat too.
He got very,
Meat and
very,
mac and cheese.
very little meat.
That's hot.
He also was giving me serial killer vibes with this like Zodiac killer mustache.
Yeah, you
with
look
the
like
with the pork chop sideburns with
literal
no
pork
no
chops.
chin in the middle.
Yeah, if Maloof
You
is
do
a
look like
serial
serial
killer.
killer or some type of sex criminal, he's definitely not doing anything to hide it with that stash.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
and you're definitely
giving me,
doing
like-
it in like Big Bear, not like in
Yeah,
LA.
no, like in the San Francisco
cabin.
mountains or some shit.
Yeah, when you
like-
look at Maloof, you feel like you're in Denver all of a sudden, right?
it's like you're like 1970s Denver serial killer.
I feel like I'm looking at Larry Bird's son.
There we go.
You
Like you
know?
definitely own a pair of LA gears with this fit on.
Like you definitely look like you're integral to the Michigan hip hop scene. You look like you probably listen to Brother Ali.
Kim looked like she's in her like 90s rap video right now.
Oh, Kim is a B girl for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
What's
sure.
a B girl?
Like
B-
a like a
break
B boy,
dancer
like a
girl.
break dancer. Yeah.
Oh, B girl.
You're like
B-boy.
spinning. You're spinning on the
my
leopard
head.
on the leopard.
That's where I wear my head or my hat. Protect
You,
my head.
besides the hair dye and besides the extra butterflies on your hat, you look like
I
you
like
could be in
them.
the Gin and Juice video.
That's how I feel, honestly.
And maybe the shoes. You definitely just look like you could
The way
kind
you
of.
say gin, it just sounds like jizz. Gin and juice.
Jizz
video.
Jizz and juice
Gin
is
and
something he
juice
would actually
video.
be more likely to drink.
Also,
yeah.
is that a phone on your cap?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
phone.
look at you.
Shout out to my
Look at your
boy,
branding.
man, causing the loss. Shout out to the loss, my boy Hat King Cole for the custom drip. I
Hat
appreciate it.
King Cole, amazing
Yeah.
name.
He's
That
a
is-
Hat King.
That is cool.
His hats are fire.
want a
got-
Boston one,
Got a
man.
globe on the back, like phones everywhere.
So can he put random shit on this hat, or is he,
He can put
actually?
whatever. He's about to. He made me one with like my logo on the side. It's fire as
I wish I
fuck.
wore hats.
I need to wear a.
He gave one to
Boston hat all the
Virgil.
time.
He gave one to Virgil Abloh. He gave one to fucking
Bro,
a lot of niggas.
I thought about rocking a Boston hat all the time, but FaZe Banks, that's already his image.
But like a lot of white niggas that like sports wear fitteds.
Everyone
That's what
in
I'm saying.
Boston just wears a Boston hat all the time, but like me and FaZe Banks both being guys from Massachusetts
But-
who are out here in
There's no,
exactly
like,
the
But
same
is
Nashville
he
world.
from
hat?
Is he from Boston?
Make a Nashville
Is there a
hat.
Nashville?
He's from right outside Massachusetts, just like I am.
Okay, so it's kind of the same level then.
Pretty much. Hey, we should probably dive into some of the depressing content that we have to do here. People
Yeah.
are gonna think we're crazy for like
Nah, I
just
would-
joshing around to start off.
Cause I was trying not to just jump right into it. Cause
Yeah, I
honestly,
mean, we
that
usually start off joshing around.
Yeah.
I don't
that
like
shit
term,
that
by
shit
the
fucked
way.
my day up for a whole couple days. I didn't want to jump
Bro.
into it.
My day's still fucked up.
I'm still like, I feel like I really haven't processed it, but I also feel like I'm really just getting way too numb to it because when I think about
It's fucked
the
up.
Peep thing and the eggs thing and the hella sketchy thing and the fucking, you know,
Everybody.
it just feels like it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it almost makes me not want to get as close to some of the artists I cover because it just feels like it's such a fucking volatile ride that they're about to get on as like a young superstar.
I think that instead of looking at it and wanting to shy away from getting close to them, you could, I don't know, try to be a helping hand.
Yeah.
No,
and
yeah,
an
definitely.
ear,
I'm
you
not
know,
gonna
instead
fuck.
of-
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that with Juice WRLD too.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me personally, I'm not really questioning my role in it at all. But it does make me
Yeah.
wonder, like, really with the label. Like to me, the label is the main people that I kind of look at, and I'm just like, dude, shouldn't there be some fucking obligation to these labels to not just basically sponsor artists who are on drugs?
No, because they don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know they
they
don't give a
don't-
fuck,
it's
but
like
it's
their
like at
cash
some
cow.
point, will they give a fuck? This is my thing. I look at Peep's family. Peep's family sued the management. Is that likely to happen here? I'm not sure, but
I think it's too early to even like consider all of that.
it's definitely too early. But I feel like at some point, man, somebody, the label is going to
Like,
be
was he
looked
with,
at
like, the man- he
from a
wasn't-
certain way.
Was he like with the management, or was he with like he wasn't even like, you know? It was like, how could they
Yeah,
how could they
yeah.
tie
burn the
them into
label?
that? You know?
No, that's a good point too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just the fallout from it is going to be really interesting. I know we decided beforehand that we don't really want to discuss any sort of like
Yeah.
criminal type stuff that might be going on in terms of the particulars about how the situation went down.
Yeah.
But I just can't help but look at the situation and think that at some point somebody's going to look at this and say, there's some really fucked up shit that was going on here, and
for sure.
somebody needs to be held accountable. And I just wonder how that's going to play out.
I
Yeah.
just hate that I had to find out about the criminal activity that could be tied to it, because then it just turns this into like a
turns into-
whole
It makes it totally different.
mystery and like I don't know, just like so much to uncover other than just like grieving the loss of a
And
loved artist.
It really takes the whole focus off of like celebrating him and celebrating his life and his legacy and making it
Yeah.
like this whole like drawn out fucking
murder
dramatic
mystery
story.
thing.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like
It was so abrupt because it's like I wake
Yeah.
up at 7:30 in the morning on.
I wasn't even asleep yet.
weren't.
It was like 6:30.
And you heard
the hell
about
were
it.
you
You saw it
doing?
on Twitter.
Tommy sent it to me. Shout out Tommy Activity. He sent it to me in like a group text, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was still up. I was still drinking, and I was like, bro, what?
He sent it in the group text. Holy shit!
And it was from TMZ. I thought it was fake. I was like, hell no. I like
Yeah.
clicked on the TMZ link. I go on Twitter and I see like Yachty and I see everybody tweeting about it at like 6 something in the
Yeah,
morning.
that was what it was for me too. I woke up at 7 in the morning and I look at my phone and I saw it was a really cryptic, fucked up thing to see, but I see like Vlad saying like, "I'm sorry for your loss," and then I
You're
see
like, what?
somebody else texting me just saying "fuck," and I'm just like,
Yeah, what the
"Oh
fuck's going on?"
no!" And I'm like on my phone, just like, "What? And when I saw that.
That's like the last thing you're expecting.
Yeah, man, like it just feels like the way that I think Ski Mask and Scheme feel, and sort of the way I feel is like, when is this gonna stop? Like it's just been such a run of bad luck with a lot of the young
know.
artists that we've all been friends with or associated with over the past couple of years. It's like the run of bad luck that just seems impossible.
It's just crazy because it's just like one after the other, and like we did lose Hella Sketchy this year as well. Rest in peace. And like
R.I.P. Sketchy, man. That's
I
a
don't
sad
know.
one,
I
too.
just it seems like we
RIP.
just can't go a year without losing a promising artist on the rise.
And you know the situation or the circumstances surrounding it, because like one of the conversations I was having with somebody the day after it happened was maybe this will finally be the thing that really kind of acts as a wake up call to a lot of kids about drugs. But the complications about the situation makes that
Makes
a
it
little
like,
bit less
yeah.
likely to me, because the whole idea that he just took a bunch of pills to hide them from the cops. So it's like I feel like a fan or someone who might be prone to using drugs might be looking at that like, oh, this is just sort of a crazy situation that happened. It's not that
It's not that,
regular drug use could be responsible for the death of a young person.
But it really is the same exact
yeah.
thing. But honestly, though, the thing with me is like I feel like people were just speaking up on it way too soon and just like trying to make it a drug PSA when it's like no. This is before niggas even knew that he swallowed them to hide from the police and all that or whatever what the case was. Before that, niggas is speaking and making like a whole drug PSA. And it's like, that's just not the time to do this shit. The nigga just died. Nobody even is talking about, like nobody is checking on their family to see if the nigga's okay, to
But
see if,
let's
like,
be real though. When is the right time to start having that conversation about
because-
fucking Percocets? Because I think, maybe it might. You could say that it's a little ugly to have that conversation right after the kid dies. But
It's
let's
just
be
like
honest.
taste-
That's when everybody's talking about
Yeah.
this shit in general, and that is a message that needs to be hammered home to kids. Like I really want a kid to be sad as fuck about the Juice WRLD thing. Think about the fact that drugs were involved in his
Involved, yeah.
death, and use that as a fuel to not do drugs or
But
to
it's-
fall back or
it
try
also-
to get clean.
It should also just be a fuel to fucking just not get involved in that type of lifestyle at all. And like as far as the other shit and just how he even got in that predicament in the first place. That's really you gotta look at the bigger picture and like of like this whole society and fucking industry that we're in that pushes you to like do this type of shit anyway.
Juice WRLD told Future that Future was the reason why he wanted to try lean when he was a child.
Do you think that
maybe not even a teenager, when he was like 12, listening to Future, making lean seem cool, making perks, making Xans seem cool, and Juice WRLD and Future felt terrible about that. Future was quoted as saying like, how many other 12-year-olds did I influence to do this shit? Future on an individual level can look at this situation and say, I was wrong for promoting that stuff and making that stuff look cool. I'm sure that if OGZ is sitting in front of me in an interview and he's 40 years old, OGZ will probably be willing to say, I apologize for making drugs look so cool when I was in my 20s. Yeah. I don't think that there's anybody that can make it as an intelligent person into their 30s or 40s without feeling bad at some point about the tragedies that are associated with the stuff that are promoted.
That's like the same thing, though, when people are like rapping about selling drugs more than doing them. It's like, oh, like I feel bad for what I did to my community. You know, I feel like, I don't know, Jay-Z probably said some shit like that before.
Definitely. And I feel like whenever you talk to older dudes, you usually can get them to sort of acknowledge, you know, like that. It's like watching The Wire season 1 versus The Wire season 5. It's like
never watched The Wire. So.
Okay, fuck you guys. But when you just Top Boy season 1, you know, when you're just hopping in, when you're hopping in the game and you're just like selling drugs to people, it's like whatever. When you've been in the game long enough to see how drugs kill people, how drugs ruin lives, how rip communities, rip families apart, it's like you can excuse a younger person because they haven't seen the whole trajectory of what this does to society, what this does to individuals, and that's kind of understandable. But the thing about Juice WRLD is that every time I talk to him, he would talk about, I was listening to him, he's talking about waking up and taking 5 Xans to start the day. And I was having that conversation with him in real life about how when he was in high school, he used to take a fuckload of Xanax just to go to school. And he is good in school, too. Like, this is a dude who clearly was productive and prolific while on prescription drugs. And they didn't stop him from continuing to do what he wanted to do with his life. But I mean, there were times where I would see Juice WRLD where he had clearly like been in bed for like 24 plus hours, just getting off perks or getting off whatever, you know?
I've done that too.
Yeah, just looking like a fucking ghost.
I just think like, at what point do we stop like glorifying not only drugs but also death in music? Because I understand artists are trying to get out their emotions and their, you know, everything that they feel inside. And if you feel sad and depressed and you want to die, like, I understand getting that out in your art, but like listening to like Peep and X and, you know, the Legend song from Juice, I'm just like, it's just so eerie and like, I just
fucking eerie,
you know, and I don't know how to feel about that because I understand like that's your art and that's what you want to, that's how you feel and you want to convey to the world. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I'm just on this, like, I want to celebrate life.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It
makes you look at shit different.
I was there when Juice wrote that song about X, and he was still so new in the game, like in terms of what he had experienced to that point. Like, these are the early days. He didn't even have his first project out. And that was like, to see him go from that, and then I think about the last couple of times I saw him where he was clearly like, you know, just so much further along in terms of knowing what the world is like, having been around the world, having done a fuckload of drugs, having like basically like seen what the world was like and shit. And it's like that year and a half or whatever, he went from like a little boy to somebody who's much closer to a man, you know? But at the end of the day, it's like he's stuck in this fucking isolated reality of where the only things that Juice WRLD basically was able to see in his adult life were like clubs, studios, hotels,
and then his big ass fucking house.
You know, and he wasn't the dude, like, whenever we would hang out with him, he was never the dude like, oh, let's go to this party. Let's go to this show. Because he went from a regular ass person to so busy and so famous that it was like not practical. He never went through the, let's hang out at downtown LA warehouse shows.
Yeah, he never, exactly.
Completely skipped all that because he was so, he blew the fuck up. He never got a chance to like really go to the mall as a grown man and just have it be regular. Like, he was a superstar from the moment that he started really like socializing after the age of like 18. Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, if I look on any flyer that's been out last year, this year, Juice WRLD is on it. From like festivals to complex cons to like any cons, like he's on it. And I'm just like, this guy's everywhere. Even when we were going to Chicago to London to blah, blah, blah. It's like,
every single
he's
fest,
at every fucking thing. And I'm like, And
was
then I
working.
think I saw an interview where he was like, if I'm not doing that, then I'm in the studio working. So I'm just like, and I think he enjoyed doing that. He liked working, but I just feel like at some point you have to like, I don't know, either you or the label or your team needs to let you.
Just that
Have your
pressure of being
time.
on the road that much and stuff. Like, granted, he's young, so I'm not sure to the extent that might have had a real impact on him. But I mean,
How could it not though? It's just like physically,
have to,
mentally,
yeah.
you taking care of your whole family. Like you got grown ass people that are like in your circle that depend on you,
Yeah.
and that are all older than you, and you're taking care of everybody. Like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders.
like I was having a conversation with somebody where it was like it was just a regular day with Juice WRLD, and it was like fly from LA to a music festival on the other side of the country, do that fast, then in the private jet, and then immediately fly to Vegas to do a club appearance. So that's just a regular day, flying
just
across the
yeah.
country and back just to do 2 shows, just to make some money.
But those bags are huge though.
Big bags for sure.
big
That was
bags.
probably a couple $100,000 for all that.
Probably only had
you
to
know?
spend like what, a tenth of that to fucking fill up the jet or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's traveling with a lot of people and everything, but even then, like back and forth on a private jet might end up being $30,000,
That's what I said, like
$20,000,
20.
something
I was
like
thinking
that.
like 20.
You know?
Think if you get what, 100 each show, nigga.
Easy
okay,
100,
easy.
yeah.
Run it up. I got 10 from each show to fucking fill up the fucking thing.
The question is though, like, when do you decide, like, okay, my mental health is worth enough to me that I'm going to start turning down some of these 6-figure checks so that I can
Yeah.
literally like sit on my ass at home and just feel normal and feel like a regular person? Because the whole thing with somebody like Juice WRLD, and the advice that I would give if I met some kid tomorrow that ends up being Juice WRLD, what's my advice going to be to him? Work your ass off, stay in the studio, tour your ass off, get these bags while you can. With Juice WRLD, I have no doubt that he was still going to continue to be a
of
profitable, huge star 10 years from now. But
Yeah.
the average artist, that's the advice you give him is like, if
have
you
to
have an
get it how you-
opportunity to get 10 grand a show right now, you need to work your fucking ass off to get every single bag because you don't know when that shit's going to go away.
Exactly.
But that mentality sort of puts you on the ropes in terms of just constantly being under the abuse of the system or whatever.
That's just fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
Talking
especially
to
like,
him. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, bro.
Talking to him personally, did he ever like convey those feelings of like I'm feeling overworked or?
Being overworked.
Because from interviews and stuff I've seen, he seemed pretty positive and like just happy and like I don't know.
No, yeah, I
honest.
never really had conversations with him where he was like, "Oh, I don't want to be doing this anymore." But I mean, I don't doubt that he was having those conversations for sure. The last time,
Yeah.
well, I saw him in Dallas, and that might have been the last time I saw him.
When it was like the show in the stadium or whatever.
Yeah,
That was the last time you saw him.
Yeah, I think maybe because we were at some other festivals at the same time as each other, but I don't know that we didn't actually see each other. But at that Dallas one, it sort of seemed like he wasn't like really that excited about this because he had just like got up, got on the plane, went to Dallas, and then like when he's backstage and it's like there's people who want to hang out and stuff, but he was really just like on his Switch, just
Yeah.
head down on his Switch. Clearly just in the mood of like, I ain't really trying to fuck with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sitting here playing video games, which is like
Yeah.
good for him. Like you're supposed to have room in your life to do that. But when you're being dragged around like a fucking circus act, and then even when you're backstage, like he shows up backstage at his own show and there's a line of fucking YouTuber people who are waiting just to take photos with him and stuff. Like he's in such high demand.
You can't even
Yeah.
fucking like sit down and relax for
even
5
chill.
seconds.
You know?
Because I mean, at that point is when you have to be like a diva or whatever, and be
Yeah.
like, no people in my dressing room, and like, people want to talk shit on that. But at some point, you just need some fucking
Alone
space
time.
for yourself.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how entitled everybody feels for
Yeah.
their time and attention.
I
and that.
cherish being alone so much. Like
Yeah.
even like not just having like one person around, just nobody, just being alone. And like once you start doing that, you can't ever be alone.
Right.
Really.
I wonder this. I wonder if we're going to end up looking at the Juice WRLD thing. Like, it feels like people are always going to try to lay blame on someone. And I already am starting to feel like some of the energy is going towards Juice WRLD had people that were maybe looking after his career that didn't really give a fuck about him because why were there 70 pounds of weed on that plane? And I personally am not going to assume that, but I feel like the same way that the 6ix9ine situation sort of went in the direction of, oh, why did this, the overall narrative of it is like, why did this dumbass kid get involved with criminals? Is that going to end up being sort of the trajectory of what the narrative is for the fucking Juice WRLD thing? Because I don't know. Like the information's all still coming out. We would have not even considered that a couple of days ago. But knowing what we know now about the 70 pounds of weed and everything, it's sort of, it's going to be interesting, especially if the feds keep looking into it and decide that they want to get real messy with it.
Yeah, man. This is all hella unfortunate, bro. And just like, obviously we know it would be no reason that he would need to be personally trying to fucking move that much weed, you know? Like, I mean, unless the nigga was flying back home with it, or
But that's the crazy thing about
he
it.
could be flying back home with it.
I mean, they're going to say whatever they're going to want to say. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense that Juice WRLD would actually be flying with 70 pounds of weed. But he's the one who passed away. Everybody else is alive. Everybody else could take the charge. So are they going to try to say it was Juice WRLD's weed? It makes no fucking sense to think that Juice WRLD would have 70 pounds of weed. Yeah. But
well, why would he not though?
Why would he? Why would Juice WRLD be a drug smuggler of 70 pounds of weed?
Drug smuggler, but it's just like,
I don't think you need 70.
If you're a cop, you're really gonna believe that.
No, obviously I'm not gonna believe it.
It wasn't one of the other 10 people on the plane. Yeah. No, it was the millionaire kid.
I mean,
I'm not saying that they should go
LA,
say that.
Like, I don't think he what's gonna be in Chicago for a day or two, and he's gonna smoke 70 pounds of weed.
Facts, yeah.
No, nobody on the planet thinks that 70 pounds of weed is a personal amount of weed.
No,
if it was 10 pounds of weed,
then
you still wouldn't be able to make that argument that it was for
10,
personal use.
You could low-key get away with that.
10? Because if you got 10 dudes...
A pound per person smoking?
In a month? Sure, all right. It's still a ridiculous amount of weed, but it's still... There's no cop on earth that's going to look at 10 pounds of weed and say, oh, that's personal stash. You know, you could have fucking 2 ounces and they're going to say it's for distribution.
It's just at the end of the day, we're not stupid, and we know that there's no way that this nigga would be needing to do that. Like, he's not, like, he's some broke ass rapper that just is like, oh, let me sell some weed to make, trap on the side.
Exactly. There's almost every other rapper in the game, that would be a reasonable thing for them to maybe do, is to also smuggle weed in a private jet. But Juice WRLD, no.
It's just very sad,
I mean,
unfortunate.
but we talked about this a little bit earlier too. But the idea that he would swallow a handful of pills, we don't know how many or whatever. But
that's the whole thing. Is like,
it makes no sense.
I'm like, what?
But then, okay, like it makes no sense. But then at the same time, it's like, you the one that said, you were like, obviously it's clear that like he probably has never really been in some crazy trouble like that.
Definitely.
You are like apparently the pilot is the one who tipped off the
and that trips me out too, because what the fuck is the pilot seeing? Like, what
you think they had sticks out on the plane?
They said that the pilot said that there were guns. How the fuck would the pilot ever know that unless somebody's opening up bags or whatever? But isn't the gun tucked like super hit?
Maybe they saw it in someone's open bag, or who knows?
I mean, that shit sounded crazy.
None of us were on the fucking, and none of us were on the plane, and just like, man, goddamn, like nobody knows the intricate details of it. It's just so, the whole situation is fucked up and weird.
There's still so many questions. Yeah, like in particular. Yeah, the shit about the pilot freaks me out. They're saying that the cops are already watching them since November.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's trippy, because that makes you think like, okay, so are there wiretaps? Are they watching the phones of some people that were already in the crew and we just had no idea? Were the cops trying to build a case for? Were they gonna pop out on? Well, I guess that they were waiting to pop on them right there.
Yeah. Apparently,
how did they figure out?
Apparently, in November they were already like searching their pilot PJ. Private jet and shit.
I mean, yeah. I honestly pray for everybody that was involved in the whole situation and everything, because we really just have no idea.
Feel bad for his girlfriend.
I feel bad for everybody, bro. His family, his fucking
bro, his girl.
Fans.
I mean, that was his whole life. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, it's not just him. It's like everybody that on his team. It's like dozens of people losing their entire career, the whole thing that they've been working on. All his family members, his girl, all crushed. Like,
bro.
The part that makes me so sad is that like he was up for what, like a year and a half. Yeah. It's like and he had, like we said, he had exponentially more to go, and like
he probably had like the next fucking 2 or 3 years booked out, of shit that he had, obligations and shit he had to do, and like, I don't know, man. I met him in such a
sad.
secluded like way where it was like not that much going on, and like they were all just chilling. It was just like I don't know. I couldn't.
You just went to the house, right? Like,
Yeah, I went to the house and they were just all cool. The dogs were there. It was only like 4 people there. It wasn't like hella people. He was recording afterwards. Like it wasn't even like, you know, like he had like 20 niggas around and guns around and 70 pounds of weed laying around. It wasn't even like that.
That was
It
really
wasn't like that at all.
The thing with Juice is that he, if anything, he life got a little complicated because he just wanted friends. Like he just wanted people to hang out with him at the house.
He was literally chilling, like, you know.
But it gets kind of weird because it's like, okay, you got the dudes from back home that you're cool with, and maybe some of them will be down to like move out and stay in your mansion with you for a while and hang out. But eventually, like, dudes start to get bored. They start to be like, why am I here? Why am I fucking, what am I doing with my life? You know, it's kind of like for Juice, he's motivated to spend his entire life creating and going on tour. And that gets fucking lonely as shit because eventually at some point, the only people who are going to tag along with you are like your girl and maybe like a couple of people on your team that are being paid to be there. At some point, all your friends, they either have to start getting paid. Yeah. And even then, they start to like get sort of jaded
they want to get paid more.
They want to get paid more. They want to have like some purpose. They want to start doing something, and it becomes a very like isolated.
It's so
thing.
fucked, bro.
And Juice would open up to kind of whoever. Like he was very much like you could be somebody he just sort of met, and you could still like have a conversation with him where he would sort of dump emotions out on.
Bro, we talked for an hour about like LA gangs in Chicago and compared to Chicago gangs, and just like talked about gangbanging for an hour. Like first time met him, like we were just talking about nothing for an hour. Like he was hella cool though. He was hella chill. Like it was. I don't know.
There's very few people that you really look at after they pass, and nobody has anything bad to say about them.
Right, bro.
I feel like that was kind of true of Peep, and that was very much true of Mac Miller.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me that people even find the time to even try to say something bad about anybody after they just died anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not saying something good, you shouldn't be saying anything at all about somebody that just passed away.
And then the weird shit of like your private ass conversations, like being
my
posted
fucking
on
God.
Twitter or Instagram.
Oh my God, I'm glad you said that.
So much weird shit.
Weird.
You saw weird
like
shit?
Anyone that
shit?
just died, just unless you're gonna say rest in peace or you know them personally and want to share a photo with them or
This girl posted a.
Saying what?
Yeah, always, of course, bro. This girl posted a screenshot of like Juice WRLD sending her like a black heart or something. It was nothing serious at all.
Oh, I
and
saw
she
that,
was like,
everybody was going in on
R.I.P.
it.
Juice WRLD. I should have responded to your DMs when I had the chance. Like what, bitch?
I don't know,
Everybody's
man.
cooking her shit. Like you stupid ass bitch. Like what?
That's fascinating to me just because
Somebody gotta delete my account before I die.
I wonder if it was probably during the very brief period of time that he was single in between.
Yeah, right.
He basically had 2 girlfriends. For those who like didn't really pay attention to the 999 like history, is that he had one girl that he met super early on, Starfire, who I believe is trying to be a rapper right now. And then
she was trying to be, she was an artist before she met him, I believe.
shout out to her, spitting
Shout
them
out to
bars. And then after that, it was Allie. And like it was a pretty brief period. I'm pretty sure it might have been like weeks, like a couple weeks
Yeah,
in
I
between.
thought it like overlapped, but
It might have.
Might have, yeah.
I don't know, but either way, it was like he just so wasn't a single guy. Like I had a conversation with him one time about what it was like for him being single briefly, and he just like described hooking up with a random girl and just
it was terrible
nightmare scenario. Like all this bad shit happened, and I was just like in terms of the girl just being weird and like acting crazy. So I don't even remember it all, but then I remember talking to her and just being like, you know, that's like that don't usually happen. Like most girls are cool. Like, they don't all wild the fuck out on you, but you know, they all
depends.
It depends on that situation. Yeah, who knows, bro?
Very true.
You might fuck them. They just might just be like on some immediately trying to blackmail you shit, or just I don't know. It could just be weird as fuck and like fanning out.
And that's the thing with Juice WRLD though, is I feel like he's somebody who got famous, and you know a lot of guys get famous and then they just want to fuck every girl on earth.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD got famous and
wanted a girlfriend.
It's like already too freaked out by the trying to just meet girls and shit when you're fucking famous and brand new and you're not that used to like socializing.
And they both used to go with him everywhere too. So it's like, honestly, that kind of seems like it made it a little easier to be like, kind of like, let me stay away from bullshit and let me just work. Like I'm gonna bring my girl with me everywhere.
He was definitely the the soft girlfriend type, and that he
What
like.
about that urge though to just be like, man, I want to just wild out?
He
and,
didn't
like,
really seem like he had a lot of that, to be honest.
Great guy.
Because we would have conversations about like, and I remember him telling me that like the older dudes that were like sort of in his crew or whatever, that they'd be trying to tell him like, no, you need to get pussy, you need to fuck random girls.
Horrible
and
advice.
he was very skeptical of this notion. Like,
I like that.
He very
That's
much
fire.
he understood clearly that, you know, that was normal and that's what people wanted him to do and stuff. There's like maybe a little part of him that wanted to be that guy, but it didn't really go that far.
Because he's like, shit, I'm already that nigga without doing that. Like, I don't need to do that.
He stayed true to himself.
That's super fire, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a relationship guy, and some people, you know, want to be like held down.
I mean, that is kind of weirdly common. There's like a lot of
It's because you know why?
Choppa and
It's
all
not
them. They
weird.
all like.
It's not weird because you know.
okay?
No,
It's weird because they're so young.
It's weird because it don't be bitches like that out here that's really willing to really hold you down like that and go through the trials and tribulations. Or you have a bitch like, you know, act like she's down then and then spilling all your fucking start spilling all the tea to fucking blogs and talk to the shade room.
Rice comes. But okay, I want to correct because I tweeted earlier something about because there came out a Daily Mail article with some particularly like gross headlines, basically saying like Juice WRLD's ex reveals all about his drug use and shit like that, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, how the fuck is somebody gonna call up the Daily Mail and give them all the details of somebody's drug use like 2 days after they died? And then but after I posted it, she hits me up because we are cool, and I probably should have sent it to her in the first place. But she said, they interviewed me and I didn't say any of that shit. I said some other shit, but then they took an old video because she had made a video back in the day talking shit about Juice after they broke up. And then it wasn't online. I think it was only online for a day or two. Okay. And then it got deleted. But then the Daily Mail took the shit that she said in that video.
How did they find it?
How did they find it?
They just found it on some random, just like
probably got re-uploaded at some point or whatever. But either way, it made it look like she was making all these crazy ass accusations right after he died. When in reality, she said that right after they broke up over a year ago.
Which could have possibly been her just, you know, saying some angry ass shit and
scummy media shit, man. The fucking media is disgusting.
They just want to just finesse the fuck out of everything.
Speaking of scummy media, do you have anything you want to say to the world?
I would love to do battle with my fucking shithead fans. All right. We did that Juice WRLD interview over a year ago. We never cut it into clips. We never did any sort of re-upload or whatever.
That was before we did that.
Before we did that. But, you know, even if we had done that, I still would consider this a pretty reasonable thing to do. I figured we should republish the chunks of that interview on the channel because at this time, everybody is going and trying to watch this. And it's true. Those interview clips that we re-uploaded got like over 100, 200,000 views because, and you know, that's what fucking pisses me off is that we have so many people hitting me up saying, thank you for re-uploading that interview. I never saw the interview before. And then you also have people mad as fuck because they're like, oh, you're re-upping it to make money off of it, blah, blah, blah. Like most of the places that we're re-uploading the interview, we don't make any money. Facebook, IGTV, we're putting it on there, getting hundreds of thousands of views, not making anything. We take the fucking mid-roll ads out of content about people who like just died or whatever, you know. It's like if we're gonna do a video about Peep after he dies, we're not gonna put ads on it like that. The same thing with the X videos, etc. And the Juice WRLD thing was the same thing where there were no mid-roll ads besides like the first 5 minutes after it went live. We took them out because somebody showed us and was like, remove it. And it just seems so crazy to me. But the weird thing that I realized is that like talking to Vlad, talking to like everybody else, everybody's like, this just happens. Like, it's not an argument that you ever hear from anybody who really knows what's going on, but it's the kind of thing that the dumbass fans in the comments can't help but just say over and over, even in situations where it doesn't make any sense.
They just be hurt and just like, just trying to look for a reason to just say anything. Bro, they be saying shit about X's mom. Like, oh, fucking the next album, she's like, how the fuck are you going to sit there and say something about someone's mother after they pass and say that the mom is being a fucking leech?
And that's the crazy thing is that it's all fans who never met him, who never had anything to do with him. They know 10 of his songs and they feel like they are in a position where we supported him his entire career from the very beginning. We hung out with him in real life. We knew him.
Met these people.
And we want to re-upload his interview clips. And realistically, it's like we don't demonetize the entire clip. So because if you demonetize it, then it's going to get suppressed. But we take out the mid-roll ads. But it's like maybe we make like a couple $100 off of those re-uploads of the content after he passes. Like, it's clearly something we're doing because everybody is just looking for this content at this moment. Why not take it and put it in front of people's eyes? And the numbers, when you really look at it, make it so obvious that this is a useful service for you to do for the people out there because they want to watch it. And I see Vlad all the time. We'll get like 100,000 views on an interview, and then something epic will happen in the news that relates to that interview, and he'll put that interview out again and get 1 million views on it. And you could look at that and say, oh, you're just profiting off of someone's death, whatever. The more intelligent way to me to look at it is to say, that's amazing that you were able to take that piece of content that only hit 100,000 people and now is hitting 1 million people by you re-uploading it on YouTube, and that's supposed to be the crime. It's like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I feel like with people is just like they're super sensitive. Their favorite artist, something just happened to them. Like I said, they're just looking for someone to be mad at. And like, honestly, like you explaining it now, I see where you're coming from. But I was kind of like, that was a little like, you didn't need to post that right now.
And I get that that's the gut reaction of
that's
a lot
always
of people. But then when you really think about
you just said that right now, like I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from.
And think about it, on the Facebook, we took the Juice WRLD Exposed and we took the Juice WRLD interview that we did in London. We just posted on the Facebook. We don't make any money off Facebook, but we still did that because it's relevant content right now and people want to see it. So why not re-upload it in places where they're going to see it?
It's not just you though too at the same time. It's like it's so much clickbait weird ass like I'm on YouTube and it's like a fucking what is this shit called? Like the thumbnail. It's a thumbnail of like someone laid out in the airport saying like Juice WRLD video. Like it's just a whole bunch of weird shit going on. It's a whole bunch of mixed emotions. And it's like it's not even just you necessarily too. It's just like everybody, and everyone is just like, man, what the fuck is going on? Everybody is like, in their feelings and shit, bro.
In this situation, in No Jumper's case, it's like, okay, someone died, and it might be someone's favorite artist. And so I don't think there's ever a good
time.
way to go about re-uploading that content of someone that just died.
I think
so
if people were more
do.
intelligent, they'd be like, oh, they re-uploaded the content. The same way if you're a TV station and you had a Juice WRLD episode of your TV show that you ran, and then Juice WRLD passes, and you say on Twitter like, "Hey, we're gonna show the Juice WRLD show again tonight at."
I'm pretty sure they did that with like ridiculousness or with.
Why would you not do that? If you make content as a media company, how are you gonna only ever do one thing with it? Like, it's a nice idea to just put it on YouTube and that's it. But no, in reality, we take all that footage, we timestamp it, and we archive it because we want to be able to, and that's
like
a lot
you said,
of stuff.
It's a fucking archive.
Right. We weren't as organized before, so it's like when X died, we didn't like re-upload clips from his interview because we just weren't thinking about that. We weren't organized enough. Now, to be honest, it's like, say, we're not necessarily organized enough, but say it's the anniversary of X's death, so we take an important chunk out of the interview and we re-upload and we write, X speaks on this, this, and this. It's like we made this content. Why would we not want to like repurpose it so that more people are going to see it?
And so obviously I see where you're coming from too, and I just think that like some people might forget that No Jumper is also media, and your job as media is to cover relevant topics. And like you said, you have a fucking archive of videos, which is like a library and a history of like artists that you've talked to and interviewed. So what would be the right time to repurpose it?
Right. And it's like if I take an interview clip and I put it on a platform where we're not making money, like IGTV or Facebook or Twitter, and that gets a couple thousand retweets, I'm super happy about that because I know that video then was getting out to people. And it's like the money thing is so whatever. Like it's just such a non-existent factor in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Also, people don't like realize that you do regular streams on the regular. Because I've seen someone like take a screenshot of like it was like, streaming Juice WRLD's music, and then like the regular streaming prices that is in every video that you do when you fucking stream.
Yeah.
But
and the thing people wanted to be
don't
like,
understand that, so they're just like, whoa, what?
They're just ready to be angry about a lot of
said
things.
Adam was using Juice WRLD's name on a stream where he was playing his fans' music. No, in reality, I did the stream that I always do where I play my fans' music, but we did like an hour and a half of listening to just Juice WRLD to start it off. And then when I started playing the donations, I changed the thumbnail and changed the title and just put RIP Juice WRLD at the end of the title. Yeah. Because I completely agree that to do a stream that has Juice's face in it, and then to have the sole purpose of it to get donations or whatever. It's like I was just doing what I always do on stream, but I did a tribute to Juice before that where I talked about him and played a bunch of his videos, and we had 30,000 people almost watching, and
that's crazy.
Clearly, like, for the most part, everybody seemed like they were really enjoying it. It's just like so bizarre to see people find so much negativity where there is none at a time where everybody should be like rallying together to have like a common cause, you know?
It's just some people just like they just don't know how to react to shit, or they've never been through that. They've never even lost like a real person, a real friend in their life. So this is like the closest thing. I mean, honestly, it felt like I lost a friend, and that wasn't even like my friend like that. You know, like it's like. So I understand why people are reacting so emotionally and shit, but it's like, man, like you got to just chill out a little bit sometime, bro.
And you know,
people be overstepping their boundaries.
It's depressing because to me, it's like I'm trying to mourn my dead friend. And then I have to deal with people saying that I'm exploiting him or some shit just by re-uploading an interview that we did with him. And then I think about everybody who was on that fucking plane with him, and it's like they more or less had their friend fucking die in front of them. Yeah. And now they have to deal with criminal charges, crazy ass weird conspiracy shit that probably a lot of the people on the plane didn't know about.
It probably would never stop until the fucking end of time, but just some weird ass stories are going to be coming out of this, bro.
Like, imagine your friend basically dies in front of you, or at least like has a seizure and dies soon after, and then you're getting arrested and charged with shit. I mean, I can't even, like, so you're not even in a position where you get to just be around your friends and talk about it. It's like you're fucking wrapped up in the middle. I don't know. This shit is just.
It's just honestly, crazy. It don't even feel real. Even talking about it right now, it's like, what, bro?
Yeah, like not here.
Yeah,
know, man. It's
gonna hit it Rolling Loud, bro. When we see everybody doing fucking tributes for him the whole weekend. Oh man, like that's just gonna be so weird and sad because you're so used to seeing him perform at all these festivals.
One of the biggest top names on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
I mean, they gotta just have like a. What do you think they're gonna do? Just have like a whole set, like of like them playing music for him.
I hope so.
I mean, I wonder if they would even be capable of doing that, but I would fucking. I guess like the fans don't know like who his team is and everything like that, but I would be into seeing like his DJ go out there with like some members of his team. There, I mean, Scheme. Is Scheme that's gonna be around that?
I think so.
I feel so horrible for him, bro. That is like he has the worst luck in the history of the fucking world, bro. Like Peep, X, and Juice, he was like very tight with and lost all of them. That's fucking gnarly. Do we want to stay on this? What else we got?
No, I also one last point is I'm fucking sick of people trying to make conspiracy theories that they are still alive.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's not. You're not edgy. You're not cool. You're not intelligent. Like, let them.
Yeah, I saw a Juice WRLD fan page type community on Facebook that I just randomly clicked on because I'm like, oh, I wonder what kind of stuff they're posting right now. And I start scrolling through it, and it is all that stupid shit. And I'm like, you guys are fans enough of him that you're in a fucking Facebook group to talk about him. And you just can't help yourself. Like, you just have to talk about the dumbest shit ever. Like, why would you ever even entertain an idea about your hero dying that wasn't vetted through the fucking news? Like, there's nothing cool about... I understand that conspiracy theories are fun to talk about when it's like you're talking about fucking JFK, but it's like you're talking about your favorite artist. It's disrespectful for you to talk about the conspiracy shit.
And that it just happened.
Ugh, it's terrible.
I don't know, man.
A lot of gross shit. There's always gross shit that happens when someone dies.
People are trying to say he did it on purpose, and just like, why would he do that on purpose, bro?
Right. Like I know. I've seen people acting like, oh, he was emo. Oh, he wanted to kill himself. I'm like, that. I want to fucking punch you in the face for even saying that, because that is so stupid to think that he wanted to die. Like, I don't know.
Just the whole thing is just fucked, man. But people would make that argument like, "Oh, the music is sad. He had sad music." And it's like, come on, bro.
I just really have to control myself and not read the fucking comments.
Yeah, I know, honestly.
Much. But
I was like fucking arguing back with people in Cole Bennett's comments. I was like, why am I doing this? What the fuck is wrong with me?
For the most part, I've seen mostly just positive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That was the thing that tripped me out, is that you have like all the rap type people, and it feels like in his like year and a half of being famous, he met damn near everybody in the hip hop.
How would you not?
He was like the feature for everybody's album.
But then you have all the white YouTubers, all the normal ass fucking normie type people that follow on YouTube, and they're all losing their fucking minds too because they listen to that shit. Like they actually had a real relationship with the music, even though they don't know anything about Chicago or like what his fucking life was like. You know?
Yeah. I mean, when I went to China last year, I was playing in like the city that I was playing in for the first time. So I was trying to figure out like, okay, what kind of music do they like in this city, and did some analytic search on shit, and like fucking Juice WRLD was like #1 in a country where they don't even have YouTube, Spotify, Instagram.
What?
That shit's scary. The other day I was walking through a fucking mall.
They banned all that shit.
I was walking through a food court.
VPN.
I was in a food court. They're playing Juice WRLD, and I just turned to Lena and I said, you know, only a certain percentage of artists they get to be food court music. You know, like where your song is so popular, it's so mainstream that they're just playing in a fucking food court in Vegas.
But like, but not in like a corny way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad at it, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Although definitely, like your stuff has to be at least a little bit like corny proof in order for them to play in that environment, because it's like it has to appeal to moms and like little kids in order. Like that's the fucked up thing. My nephews fucking love Juice WRLD, and I don't even know if they know like that Juice WRLD is this dude. They just love the songs.
I mean, what do they think
What do you
that
mean
he is?
this dude? They think he's just a song?
Because like they talk about Juice WRLD, but then like
Like he's a character?
right? Like
Lippy?
I saw Chunky. I saw my sister try to show them like, oh, this is Juice WRLD. Like, look at Uncle Adam and
They
Juice
were like,
WRLD.
no.
I don't think they really
it
got
really
it.
registered, yeah.
Like they like the songs, and I think even just the name Juice WRLD really
Juice,
appeals to them. But like. They didn't really like react.
He does have a great like kid's name.
Exactly.
Juice WRLD.
Kids don't know about that much shit, but they know about juice.
Juice box.
Milk World is another one I was thinking of.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
You know, anything with
Rest
milk.
in peace,
I definitely went
Juice
back. I went
WRLD.
back and like, cause I'm not even gonna lie. Like I used to sit there and listen to all his music. Like I'd be just on a different type of music vibe. But
Yeah.
I obviously
Ketamine
heard
music.
his songs before, obviously. But like
You
I
listen to
went
K-Lo
back and
music.
really listened to the albums, and I was just like, fuck, man, this nigga was actually on some fire shit.
I listened
This
to
shit was hard as fuck,
the
actually.
Death Race for Love album, and yeah, it was
I
amazing.
had heard that one, but I had never heard some of the songs on
the first one.
on Goodbye and Good Riddance.
I love
And
that album.
That song "Lean with Me" is hella crazy good,
That
and I was
video is crazy too.
I had never seen or heard that song before, and I was like, this shit.
I
his videos
have
are
seen the
fucking
Lean With Me
insane.
video 500 times. And also, I just want to
just seen
say
it this week for the first
that
time.
I've listened to every Juice WRLD song 5 billion times, but I've been re-listening to it a bit. But, you know, what this will be interesting is that, like, look at X. X didn't have that much music in the stash, so, like, his posthumous releases were, like, Skins was like a super
Super rough
unfinished
draft, yeah.
demo
Yeah.
sounding ass thing, and then X's new shit is like
It's still very demo-y, though.
It's very demo-y, but it
I
sounds
liked
like
it a lot.
but they created big songs out of the demos.
That
You know,
one
like
with Lil Wayne is fucking golden, dude.
That
I like a
first
lot of
song,
songs,
X
too, yeah.
Bitch. I like that song.
I like a lot of the songs, and I think a lot of
Yeah.
the best songs are like the acoustic-y songs that sound
Agreed.
like a complete song. You
Yeah,
know,
it
Yeah.
sounds really good.
But then it's also like, okay, you guys are gonna take these X verses and like use that with a Rick Ross verse just to make a song where there wouldn't be a song otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Like, I'm still down to hear that, even if. But the difference with Juice WRLD is that Juice WRLD has no
Complete
joke
ass song.
thousands of songs in the tuck and like
Insane.
banging ass songs. Like, I can think of, even if you just look at the songs that were like previewed in the No Jumper vlogs that we did with Juice WRLD, there are dozens of banging ass songs that never.
He has hella collabs. Like,
Yeah.
he has so many collabs with D Savage that I didn't realize, bro.
Really?
Bro, they used to hang out tough, and they got like at least, I want to say at least like 5 songs together.
Wow.
At least that are like on SoundCloud leaks. you
There's
can
so
find.
many leaked Juice WRLD songs even before this happened.
That's what I'm
I don't know.
saying.
Are people like leaking what they have left and right?
I hope
Probably.
not. I saw a
Everybody
tweet.
does that
I saw a
shit.
tweet that went viral. It was like,
Saw
if you're a
that.
fucking producer, or I think he really meant if you're a producer or artist in general, and you have a song with Juice WRLD, and the day he dies, you want to
Yeah.
use that as
Yeah,
an
fuck
That's
opportunity
so
to drop it.
tacky and terrible, and you should be so ashamed of yourself if you seriously fucking did that, because I can already hear people calling me a hypocrite because we re-upped the interview.
I was just about to say that, but
here's the thing: you can't release a Juice WRLD song without like explicit permission from his family or him or his label, whatever. And that doesn't even really become as big a deal until after they pass, because the extent to which his catalog is watched over by the label, it changes a lot once they die, because all of a sudden these recordings are super valuable assets that belong to the family, the family basically has to like monetize that to continue to take care of his business, live off of it, etc. It's fairly different than us just
put up a
music video.
No, for sure.
But anyway, I do think we should talk about the X album a little bit. Well, I guess we already did.
A little bit. I like the first half better than the second half.
Was the second half more like I was waiting for the hyped like yelling fucking X, like that's my favorite version, so I'm always waiting for that.
There was not that much of that on display here.
And I also really liked the Caribbean flavored song.
Royalty.
I forget what the name of the song is.
That was been out for a minute.
Everyone was hating on it, but I like that song a lot.
If you're talking about Royalty, that's been out for a minute, and that song is fire.
Yeah, I love that song.
I heard a lot of these songs like multiple times before, and like kind of knew what I was getting into for a lot of it. But I felt like, given what it was, that they did a pretty good job.
I thought they did a great job.
And it's definitely people who like hating on it because, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like these snippets or these parts of songs are gonna have to come out sooner or later. A lot of them are already out. It's like fucking let them put it out. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to stretch his catalog for another release after this.
No, they said that this is the last one.
This is really it, but I mean, you know, a couple of years from now, they end up with a few more scraps. They end up saying, "Oh well, we got 10 X verses right here. Why don't we make an X album?"
The next, or like the next popping rapper in like 2025, and they fucking have a random XXX feature.
You know, Lil Nas
X. I'm about to say they took Lil Nas X off the album. Yeah. What song was he supposedly on though?
I forgot the name of the song. They scrapped the whole song.
Booty Grease.
Well, the reason why I really like this album was because I mean I can't speak on like other it's
posthumous.
It's not posthumous.
It's not Postmates.
No,
posthumous.
Posthumous. It's not related to possums in any way. Actually,
posthumous
releases.
I'm not gonna say the word. I hate it. Okay. Anyways, this one, he was working on it before he passed, and he was collecting a vibe and making it what it is, instead of other ones that, I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to say the names of albums and artists, but I felt like some other ones might have been just getting demos and ideas, and for this one it seemed more packaged together.
It feels like that's the difference between Juice WRLD and X, is that X was likely to like sort of go into the studio, record a melody, record like a little hook, a little like maybe spit a verse, record some, but it didn't feel like he was necessarily finishing songs all the time, and his work rate was like far less prolific. Like Juice WRLD casually doing 8 songs in a night, just hurt out, just insane. Fucking out of his mind, screaming into that fucking microphone. And X was very different speed, so I feel like Juice WRLD is going to be.
He's gonna be like whole ass, finished ass songs.
Literally, they could do the Tupac thing with Juice WRLD. They could be dropping Juice WRLD albums 10 years from now. Should they?
Well, he has fucking freestyles from hour-long freestyles and all types of crazy stuff. So think about how many times he's done that in the studio.
Some of those.
Can't believe we're talking about.
Release albums of using his No Jumper vlog. Raps, and then they take those and turn them into actual songs. I want to put it past the label at some point.
Oh my god! And call it what, the No Jumper collection.
Of content from him and another ex-member of our team who also got a lot of content from him. I hope they.
Hope Chris is okay during all this shit. Yeah, man. That's fucking terrible.
Shout out all the longers out there, man. Shout out my boy Chris, man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, being that close to it going down must have been like as fucking crazy fried as everybody else seems talking about it. It's like, can you imagine what he's going through, dude?
Yeah, bro.
We're just
all of them, bro.
His girl,
his friends, everybody that was there. It's like. That shit fucked up their whole world, probably, bro. And they were all together. Like, I'm watching their all stories. Like, everybody was chilling. Everything seemed normal. They had no idea.
That was a super weird thing to see academics like taking Chris's fucking
bro. What? I was watching the news. I was watching like CBS News and Christopher Long's Instagram story. Like, what, bro? Shit's weird as fuck, man.
It's so weird how like an Instagram story clip that seems like nothing. When you're doing it, you're literally just having a good time, just like, hey, I'm gonna post this, and nobody would have ever cared about it. And then all of a sudden becomes this insane like historical.
Like they have my niggas at like in the fucking the fucking CBS thing. Like, come on, bro.
Madness.
Shit's crazy, man. That's why Shoreline Mafia said fuck Fox News. Exactly.
That's true. Sip and drink for life. Yeah. R.I.P. Juice.
Expletive Fox. We sip and drink for life. And Lucky has some of the best tweets about him and Juice WRLD. I'm not gonna lie.
What did he say?
Really?
I'm not gonna get into it, but just shout out to him, man.
Okay,
Drug stuff
later.
Something like that. Yeah.
I can imagine. Damn.
Man.
Those two doing drugs together. That sounds scary. I don't know.
That sounds like that sounds like some of the best music I ever heard being made together. And that's honestly the fucked up part. Is just like, you know, I don't know, man. Everybody is just they glorify it, and then it's like you cry after it happens. You know,
ain't that the truth? And that's why we, I don't know. We're like even like we're doing like a collab with Dub with the awful lot of cough syrup shit, and we just like I'm like, bro, like if we're gonna do this, we gotta go full obvious anti-drug message with it, because it's like for me and Dub. He used to be one of the craziest sippers ever. Yeah. Been free of lean for a couple months now. Obviously looks and feels way better. Myself, I used to fuck with lean. I used to fuck with Zans, all that shit. Yeah. Don't fuck with it anymore. My life is a million times better. It would be so dishonest to act towards kids out there like, oh yeah, it's just whatever, like lean, drugs, it's cool. Like it's not cool. Like you gotta at some point get real explicit with them and just make it clear what you actually think. That's
why we like stopped selling those jerseys, bro. Because so many people hitting me up. Like we put them out once, it went so viral. We was not expecting that shit, and it was just like it turned from like a meme, like oh like people just fucking tweet about being perked up, or just like it's like a joke, but it's really not a joke. And niggas put that shit out, and like it just went crazy. And it's like so many people like, bro, where can I get this from? Where can I get this from?
That's sending the craziest shit.
Hold on, sending me Instagram DMs of like them with perks and like them like just stupid ass shit. Like I did not realize how crazy the shit was until we dropped that shit, bro. Yeah. And it's just like,
and nigga, you realize that the easiest thing on earth to sell is like a drug reference shirt, like a Zan joke shirt or a lean joke
like Xanax
thing.
Pillows, like all
you know that shit is the easiest. It's like selling
but
fucking
it's corny though, bro.
Like,
it really is
like
corny.
Beach towels that have like the name of the beach that you're at on the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the easiest shit to sell because it's like, oh, you're here, like
Venice Beach towel.
Like you try to sell like Xanax merchandise to SoundCloud kids. Yeah. Out of here. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Bro, shit's weird as fuck.
Anyway, fuck anybody who's sort of vulturing off of that shit still. That shit is over. You gotta
Don't DM me. You can't ever get one. If you got one already, then I guess keep it. But
hey, I'm not mad at you for selling that shit. I'm just saying from my perspective, I'm getting explicit with how I feel about that shit. Niggas is
tweeting at me like it was my fault because he was like, he's wearing your jersey. I'm like, bro, really? Like that was months ago.
He wore your jersey for like fucking an hour, like a couple months ago.
Right? Come on, bro. Like you niggas are tripping, bro.
That's crazy.
It fucked me up because I went to go like text Chris, and I'm just like, that's the last thing I have is a picture of Juice WRLD in his house wearing the jersey. Before I'm texting Chris, like saying, "Yo, I love you, bro." Like,
that is fucked.
Sorry, like you know,
unreal.
R.I.p. Juice, R.I.P. X. Let's transition into something.
Mac, R.I.P.
Fredo, all of them. Let's transition into something less depressing. Okay. Aaron Carter is a racist. Cam girl, talk to us about how you feel about Aaron Carter, the racist, who you have fraternized with him, so you may too also be a racist.
Fraternized meaning.
That's kind of deep.
Well, you were been on this podcast with him multiple times, right?
I don't want you to like. I know you, so I thought you were gonna allude to like, oh, you. Yeah.
No, I don't sexualize Cam girl. In
fact.
Thank
you, God. No. Anyways, I got the message from you where he was talking to a
Chinese
food delivery service or some shit.
Yeah, he was basically doing the most egregious Chinese accent possible,
most
screaming into a phone.
Yeah.
I want the Kong Pao, like the worst accent that you. I mean, so unfunny, so lame. The lamest joke. Wouldn't have been funny in fucking 1984. Never mind 2019.
And the accent was just so bad, and you're just like, you could tell this dude's literally listening, trying to like get an actual order from you and just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, so what the fuck? He posted that on his like actual post?
He posted that on his Instagram on the feed and
Saying what? What was the caption? Like here's me being hilarious.
Yeah, look how funny it is when I harass the Chinese guy.
Like when you can't get the guy to get your order right.
Watch me harass this Chinese guy because he doesn't know English like me. Ha ha ha. This is such a good joke.
I mean, this is like this is related but a bigger scale. Is that I'm kind of just sick of like, why is it just America that like gets so angry about people not being able to speak English perfectly? If you go to other countries, let's say Korea or China, if they see a white guy or a black guy come there and speak Chinese or Korean and even just try it, people applaud them and congratulate them and like respect them for even trying. But here in America, it's like, go back to your country. I don't understand.
Who says that though? I'm not trying to send anybody back to their country. I welcome the
Not
immigrants.
You, but hella motherfuckers,
but like
bro.
that's like the go-to, like go speak learn how to speak English. I'm like, they're obviously trying.
Okay, but this is the thing that probably is the main difference is that if you go to Korea, there's absolutely nobody working in Korea who has like a job that doesn't speak Korean. Like everybody who's in Korea that speaks another language is just there as a tourist.
No.
Whereas, I mean, largely.
The growing there's a growing
You go to KFC in Korea, there is a motherfucker speaking Korean.
There's a growing population of immigrants in Korea.
Okay, I believe you, but I just don't think that they're working in like fast food.
Okay, fine. It makes sense because let's say, okay, Korea, it's probably 90% Korean, you know?
Right.
But here, you know, we have a melting pot of different races, so...
I don't get offended at all. Like, I never get mad about motherfuckers not being able to speak English, really. But there have definitely been times where you go to a business where it's so obvious that this business depends on them talking to you about the service that they're providing, and then the person doesn't speak English at all, and I'm just sort of like, what is this? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to like engage with this commerce when this person doesn't speak English at all? Now, granted, like
if they're trying,
right? If they're trying, it is one thing, and you know, maybe
you know how many times I get in the Uber and like the Uber doesn't speak English that good, and we just figure it out. You just gotta just figure it out, you know?
Right? But that shit pisses me off when they're waiting for the Uber and they can't figure out where you are, and they're calling you and they don't speak a fucking word of English, and it's just like, I'm not mad at this guy for going out and getting the best job that he can apparently get. I'm mad at Uber. How the fuck am I supposed to be safe when the person driving me around can't even figure out where I fucking live?
Or like communicate with you. Like,
I don't
that kind of bothers
safe
me.
is the thing. Safe is more like if they could drive correctly, and I'm sure even if you can't speak English, you could still drive.
Yeah.
Quite often. But I mean, how's he reading the signs? How's he reading the signs?
He has a fucking.
It's a red stop sign, a red light. Nigga, you don't gotta read that.
That is a good point. The app,
green light.
But you know, white man, I see where you're coming from as well. Because you know, if I'm on the phone with Apple Care and they
that shit, man,
and they have a prominent accent and don't understand what I'm saying, it does get a little bit frustrating. But
that shit will make you lose your fucking mind when you're on
I'm not gonna yell at them and try to talk to them in their fucking accent and mock them.
Yo, fried rice.
But what's fucked up is that when you call support, like my credit card, whenever I go anywhere, my credit card doesn't fucking work. Like
because you're supposed to put a travel alert on it before you leave.
I'm not doing it. I'm not calling the credit card company to tell the credit card company that I'm going somewhere. I'm a grown fucking man. If I'm gonna take my card and use my card, Laura, you don't have a mic. If I'm gonna use my card somewhere, I want my fucking card to work.
No. Because that's how scammers get you.
Yeah.
You realize that,
but you
right?
realize
if they bounced your shit.
The other day, I went to Vegas and I'm trying to get into my fucking hotel room. And the solution, what actually happened was I had to sit on my fucking phone for a half hour with an Indian man who barely spoke English just to tell him that me using my credit card was in fact me using my credit card. Now, I have nothing against this old Indian man.
You hate Indians.
I do not have anything against Dalzim. I don't have anything against any Apu. Loved Apu.
Stop.
I'm just saying. I fuck with all kinds of Indian people. Nav, huge Nav
Brown
fan.
boy.
Is he Indian?
Brown boy. I love Nav.
You like chicken tikka masala?
Love it.
All right. You like butter chicken? Lamb?
Love it.
Ew.
All I'm saying, I don't like that shit. And that actually, this has nothing to do with Indian people at all. This just has to do with the fact that I want to be able to fucking use my credit card. I want to drive.
This has to do with you just being a little bit more responsible.
But think about this.
Yeah, you got to take the time.
There's a chip in my phone. I know that they can see everywhere I go. My fucking chip is in my phone. I fly from LA to Vegas, and they still can't figure out that card was with me the entire time, and this is me using it right now.
And if you got to put your code in too, and all that, like just everything.
Well, I mean, okay. On the other hand, I've gotten alerts where like they tried to steal my credit card information, and I got a fucking Domino's purchase from Clearwater, Florida.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, well that definitely wasn't me, and that's helpful. That's why you need travel alerts.
Fair enough, but think about this.
And also, you don't even have to be on the phone. You could go on your app, and there's a little section where you can go travel alert.
Listen, think about this. I bought the flights on the credit card. I bought the hotel. I arranged.
They're not watching your fucking transactions like that.
Yeah.
Right, but I bought the flights.
It's like you want them to watch.
Yeah, you want them to geotag.
I just want you to listen to me. I just want you to think about how insane this is. I bought the tickets on the credit card. I reserved the hotel room using the credit card. I show up and I want to use my credit card to put a $1,000 hold on whatever, they hold some amount of money while you're in there. And that somehow is not okay. And what's really fucked up is that when I was ordering the tickets or whatever, I would have been perfectly happy to sit on the fucking phone for a half hour or have one of my employees realistically sit on the phone for a half hour to do it. And that's not allowed. Instead, I have to sit in the fucking lobby, and I'm sitting on the phone mad as fuck at
so
support.
Scary.
I'm mad as fuck, and there's fans coming up to me asking for photos, and I have to act like I don't want to kill people in this moment. Oh, yes, Jenny, I'll take a fucking photo with you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm not mad as fuck that I'm not in my hotel room right now. Next topic.
I think Lena needs to just add that to another one of her checklists of like things I have to do for Adam before we leave LA.
Things
Travel
that need
alert
to
on his
just
card.
it just needs to change about the world as a whole. NoJumper.com if you want to support. Buy someone in your life a No Jumper kendama at NoJumper.com, and then after you do that, go to Facebook and search No Jumper and add us because we're almost at 50,000 followers on the No Jumper Facebook.
Give another $1,000 away.
Yeah,
I wish I could, but I already gave it to Edward and Edgar. And Edward.
His name's not Squidward.
Edgar is living large.
Yuri just ordering Chick-fil-A.
Yuri's
Didn't
eating
even tell us.
Chick-fil-A. Hates gays.
You know what's
Hates
crazy?
gays.
Every time we ever order food, we either
We
buy him
always
food,
ask him.
or just make sure he. Like,
I
yo,
even
you want
invited
something?
him to a party tomorrow.
That's like
What kind of
it just
party?
show you just what type of
Tell you
people,
later.
and this is why I'm never nice to him because it just shows you what type of people like people are.
Russians.
I don't want to
Russians.
interrupt the show, even though
You interrupt the show all the time with your little blibber blabbering.
No, I would have been
there.
mad as fuck if he interrupted the show. So you want Chick-fil-A? You could do that any time of day besides during this live stream.
Yeah, but then me and him.
mean,
would
But he
never-
ordered it during the
live
interim, the live stream. He didn't
You
ask you
could
guys
have asked us
beforehand.
before.
Yeah, Yuri, why don't you fucking time your appetite
you-
out around the
Why
co-host on
don't you
this
care
podcast?
about us?
like you could have literally waited 10 more minutes till we were done. We could all order together and make eating on the stream like we always do. But you're just a dickhead, bro.
Yeah, dickhead.
Him and Laura.
I gave you
and your
a
little
400.
French
I
girl.
gave you an unreleased. Wait, was that his girl?
Laura? Yes.
No, wait,
No,
who's-
that's
What?
Laura.
Where'd
That's
she go?
Laura's friend.
Where'd
She's
she
French.
go?
She
That's
left.
Laura's girl.
She was so fine
You liked her.
and
Oh.
spoke like
really
not
cool. I
English,
liked her a lot.
French.
That's the funny
I
thing
thought she
about
was a
you is that
new
you
and-
can always count on House Fun thinking every girl's super
I
hot.
I've
respect
never
women.
put a woman in front of him and he hasn't thought was attractive, hot, cute, big ass, blah, blah.
She's like a
I have
800
something nice to say about all women. Is that
800
some-
pound morbidly
I-
obese
that's-
woman.
I feel-
Shorty got the diaper though.
There was a literal 80-year-old woman walking on the blade with
fingered
like
her?
a shopping cart. And he goes, "Oh, she got a fatty though." And I'm like, "What?"
You know what House Phone does that is the same thing that every chick I've ever met in my life does? Is House Phone meets another dude or another girl really, and he just starts telling them things that they're wearing that he likes. Oh, you got that flap hundreds tee, huh?
Shout out to
I'm
Free
just like-
J Lucy. Thank you very
but
much.
girls do that. Girls always, when they meet each other, like, oh my God, I love your hat.
Because you know why? Is it something like it's okay?
Stop
First
with
of all,
that creepy
Oh
smile.
my God, I love your mascara. Where'd you get it? Is it
no,
Fenty?
nah.
I
Listen,
hate you.
listen.
That's real shit.
Listen. The thing.
Or
with-
in the back. Holla if you hear me.
Holla if you hear me. Listen.
Oh my
Sure.
The
God.
thing with me is like I'm really into clothes and I'm into specific shit.
I
So
like
if
when
I
he compliments
recognize
people.
if I recognize your drip from a mile, I'm not gonna say anything about this fucking Kappa
No, yeah.
fucking phase.
Kappa Phase
Wait,
Clan
do you know where
collab?
this is coming
Are you
from?
fucking kidding me? This is hard
Yeah,
body
no,
shit.
I'm just kidding.
This is coming from because you never compliment him.
Yeah, that's exact. This comes from
Yes,
like,
you do. You always do. The
Do I?
We don't-
APC jeans.
Okay, you got APCs on. I
Ew.
give you that.
APCs
Oh,
on.
you got
Versace
Versace boxers.
Gucci
Ew.
fucking belt buckle, bro. Top me up.
Ew.
Top me up. No, I look good. No, I'm not
You
really.
look better than last week. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
Or
that last week fit was
Hey,
crazy.
look. Slip-on Vans, gang.
Slip-on
Travis Scott
Vans,
gang.
gang.
Fake.
These,
Just
I
kidding.
love wearing these, even though
Oh,
they're
hey.
like the cheapest,
And
like
shout out my
most
boy.
Who
basic
gives a
shoes
fuck?
I
They're
own.
literally.
You see the bust down jeans?
You see the $30 shoes and the
Hold on,
$300 jeans.
wait. Shout out to my boy Kobe and I think Ben. I forgot the other homie's name.
Shout out to Christian Dior.
No, shout out to the homies from Carhartt in Seattle on Pine Street. I went in that bitch and they was like, yo, I'm a huge fan. Gave me 50% off my whole order. I ordered up the whole store.
If you take House Phone on tour with you, this is what he will do. He will show up to your streetwear store and try to
100%.
get a discount.
No, I was
He
no,
doesn't
I
try, he gets
Yeah,
them.
what? But bro, remember I told you I went to Atlanta and got those shoes for free. I looked them up. They were going for $5,000 online. The homie nigga
$5
did.
grand?
Jesus Christ.
You want to see
You
it?
don't got to show me, but I believe you. That's insane.
$5,000.
$5 grand.
Well, it was like the highest bid was $5,000.
Who has the most expensive outfit? You wearing anything expensive over there?
I mean, her bag is
Oh,
pretty
the bag
expensive.
is-
My bag is worth more than your life.
No, my shoes cost as much as your bag, probably. How much is that bag? Like 15?
My pants. My pants. These,
Three?
these
Yeah,
jeans are
I
probably
love
$300.
that. All right, okay.
$300. How you
Okay.
feel about that? Is that ridiculous? Are you mad at me? Is
no.
it hard to relate to me?
Excuse
Those
me,
don't
one
look
more
like
time?
$300 jeans, though.
I'm pretty sure these APC jeans
no
are like 300,
offense,
maybe
I love
200.
you,
But you could have got
but
better
your
APCs.
outfits always look very cheap. But that was really mean to say. Oh my god, I felt really mean saying that.
All right, I'm gonna see you guys later. Actually, never. No. I'm
Okay,
kidding.
not cheap, very casual.
Yeah, you're very casual.
You're casual.
No, these jeans,
dude,
like
cash.
these
can't mix
are
the
expensive
APC.
jeans that do not look expensive at all on me. They
That's
look
what
like
I'm
super
saying.
regular jeans. No, I completely.
You dress very
no.
regular.
You
not,
look like you
I-
could have.
I used the wrong word. Not cheap. Regular.
I never buy
Because it's regular.
I never buy the $400 jeans that look like they cost $400. I buy $400
No,
black jeans that look
look-
exactly. That's what.
Regular.
And honestly, that kind of pisses me off because I'll get like a box of Fashion Nova jeans and I'll take off my like much more expensive jeans and put on the Fashion Nova jeans, and the Fashion Nova jeans quite often fit better. And I'm like, what am I doing?
What did I pay $400?
These were
for?
free.
I mean,
And
you keep telling us you hate expensive clothes and you find it stupid to spend money, $3,000 on a bag and,
And shit
so
keeps happening, and it keeps making it more and more obvious to me
Yeah,
that like, no,
exactly.
you're right. Like, don't do it. It's not
okay,
necessary.
Mr. Gucci belt buckle.
Yeah.
buckle
$400 for a belt that I'm gonna wear for like years.
Yeah, years. Yeah.
and your stupid. I have 8 pairs of these Versace underwear.
I didn't say that I
They
had
fit
8
your
pairs
dick
to
good,
flex.
though.
I said I had 8 pairs because you're like I
I
always
feel
just
like
wear
you,
the same
I feel
underwear.
like you like lifted your shirt on purpose so people.
Listen, I own
Stretched out
8
one time.
He
pairs.
literally stretched up like all randomly
do
in front of me. I
math.
was like, okay.
I did not intentionally show you my underwear, and that's sexual harassment, and I resent the implication. I think I bought 6 pairs of Versace underwear. I'm pretty sure they might have been
You tried to
$70
flex on me and you said
each.
8.
$420. Boom. My underwear needs
That's
for my
stupid.
entire life are taken care of.
Ew, you
entire
wear
life,
the
8
same
underwear?
8 pairs, 6 pairs, that's enough. Like I
I
don't
need like 30.
30 because you're wearing 3 or 4 pairs a day because you're getting yeast infections and shit.
Oh my, that is sexual harassment.
That is,
Fuck you,
yeah, that
asshole.
was-
Well, why do you
Mr.
need 30 pairs of underwear?
that's
How
what
often
I
do you
know, you just-
laundry?
Oh, pretty
Yeah, you-
often.
My
Good.
girlfriend's assistant
after-
does my laundry like every fucking
After I do,
other
I just
day.
throw it in there, and then I run the laundry every so often, like every day, every
listen,
other day.
I have a bunch of Etika underwear. I have some polo underwear. I have
Yeah, me too.
I have FTP underwear.
I need the
Look at
FTP
you.
Pro Clubs, man.
I have a whole bunch. I have so many. I can basically just give you some.
I don't want used ones. If you got new
I'm
ones,
not
I'll
gonna.
take-
They're not used. They're like in the package. I'm just
you
saying.
got you got the white tees too,
I don't have the white tees
or black or any color tees.
of FTP.
Yeah, the FTP Pro Club.
No.
Let me get some boxers, bro. for
I
real.
definitely got boxers on.
Bro,
Next
Adam
time
has
I'm
been-
putting my boxers on, I'll bring you some.
Listen, Adam, I've been asking Adam. He got gifted a chain, a No Jumper chain, from
thought he was gonna
from
give that
my
to you.
jeweler.
I will bring that.
from
to-
my jeweler, right?
It was my jeweler before it was your jeweler, and it was never really my jeweler. But
You're right, actually, because I
He
met
said
him
he was
through
gonna
you.
give that to
Actually,
you like.
you're right.
He
You're
said
right.
he
I
was
met
gonna
him
give
through
that to you
you.
like 5 months ago. No, remember
He says he'll give it to me like
you texted me
a
about
year
this like
ago.
a long.
if you
ass time
text me,
ago.
I will probably remember to bring
Just
that in.
text him
Alright.
Tuesday.
Because I want to
morning.
rep the gang. You know what I'm saying?
No, I would much rather have you out wearing it than it's just sitting.
I'll
in my
wear it right
fucking-
now.
What if it gets snatched on
What if I-
Fairfax the
No,
next
you know,
day?
I had a really big problem, and I actually I got to double check, but I fucking go in my
Oh, your
safe.
safe.
I didn't open my safe for like 6
Oh, you
months.
told me about that.
I had like a couple $1,000 in the safe. The money was all slimy, and then
Ew.
my gun was all rusty. One
wonder-
of my
I
guns.
wa-
Why does it get
One
like
of
that?
my guns was
What if-
rusty. And I just close it, and it's got these little silica packets that are supposed to.
What if it was like
You have
the
to, like,
moisture
vacuum
from like the
seal?
money, like from maybe like whatever, and
People's
then
hands and
yeah,
shit?
and then it's just in the thing, and then it's just like.
But either
Or
way, that
maybe you have
sounds
to,
like a
like, air
bar.
it out every
yeah,
after-
there's stuff you got to put in there. But either way, that doesn't sound like a bar. Like, went to grab my gun and it was rusty. I guess all of my money kept it musty.
I looked at my eyes; they are crusty.
And I'm serving fiends. You a custy.
Damn, I like her titties. She look busty. I just called a plug. Can you front me?
Oh God.
Keep going.
And my girl pussy smelling lovely.
Oh. I'm gonna eat her up like a munchie.
Ooh.
And my butthole looking ugly. I ain't took a shower in a month, B.
And your face black like crunchy. Crunchy black.
And she wanna suck on my monkey.
Why the fuck I got a pet monkey?
I just robbed a motherfucker who looked like a monkey.
I just served my uncle. He a junkie.
How do they start doing this?
I don't know.
I'm sick. Niggas think they getting off with $20. That's not a lot of money.
I keep the chunky monkey.
Free Draco the Ruler. RIP.
I'm getting
Juice
hot over
WRLD.
here. The bars are too hot, man. I gotta
Very
take my
hot.
phase off. Take my phase
Take
off.
my phase off. I take a nigga fade off.
Take my phase off, and all the girls start screaming.
When's your next Dame Dash show?
Thursday night.
The other one's doing pretty good, right? It had like, I don't know.
Solid. I want to cover.
Can I get some fries at least, bro?
Look at what we talked about. We
Damn.
talked about Juice. We talked about X. We talked
Can you
about
go
Aaron
drive
Carter.
to Dave's Hot Chicken and give me food?
I'm going to be honest with you. Given that we're an hour and 13 minutes in, I don't really want to talk about Eminem versus Nick Cannon, except to say that Nick Cannon's song sucked.
I didn't
ass
listen to it.
Juice. Terrible, bro. He let all his bros come on it, and he just
Who's all his bros?
just a bunch of fucking dudes. I don't know who any of them are, but it was just terrible.
He's rapping still?
He's trying to bait Eminem into going on Wild 'N Out. It ain't gonna happen.
Never.
It was a video, yeah, and it was terrible. It was just.
I think his radio show's doing pretty good.
I mean,
No, but
yeah, his podcast, all that shit. I'm sure he's doing fine, but
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, Nick Cannon is fine in his life.
Like
I'm
he's
sure.
sexy, pause.
But Nick Cannon ain't fucking. Pause. But Nick Cannon ain't fucking with Eminem, dog. It's like
Now I'm kind of interested to
he's
hear it.
clout chasing. He's trying to get Eminem to fucking respond to him. I don't really want to talk about NBA YoungBoy's brother being arrested for murder either, because I don't know which brother it even was or any details and stuff. We're going to talk about one more of these. I want to talk about Iggy Azalea and Cardi. Can we talk about that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa,
Well,
whoa,
last
whoa.
week
I
or the
think-
week before, we reported on their rental
crib.
home.
Right. With the tools
I'm glad.
out.
No, I got she
Woke
wasn't.
up in the
I'm glad she
morning with
wasn't
my
hurt
tool.
and the baby.
Yes.
You
So,
Meet me in the alley with the
right.
troops.
Their house got robbed, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But then it's actually insane. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so fucked. I just realized the one thing that we didn't talk about. Brother fucking nature. Probably I don't want to phrase this in an offensive way.
Yeah.
The only person that it was like in any way positive for when Juice died was Brother Nature, because he was all anybody was talking about on Saturday, and then Juice dies, and immediately it's
I got one
stricken from the
notification
record.
for us to talk about that, but I didn't look into it. And I
Because
wish I did.
everybody forgot as soon as the
I
Juice
was
shit
just,
happened.
like,
All of a sudden, it
too
doesn't
much on
fucking
this
matter,
Juice
you
WRLD
know?
shit. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that point, it's like, who gives a fuck? He got into a fight at a pizza shop, right?
No, I totally agree. But I mean, that was like a pretty wild, like revealing sort of like series of,
Yeah.
because at first you have Brother Nature getting his ass whooped like bad,
Bro,
and you're
I-
wondering why.
I'm
Yeah.
all like, what the fuck? Why they beat this nigga up?
Everybody, and then more shit come. Like, you know, I was seeing tweets with like 100,000 fucking retweets,
Yeah.
basically saying like, how could you possibly hurt this dude? He would never be
Blah, blah.
offensive. He could never deserve this. By the end of the day, I'm listening to the interview with the fucking dude on Drummer and stuff, and I'm like, if you pull up in the fucking restaurant
Yeah.
acting crazy and the plug beats your ass, I'm sorry.
That
This is
nigga-
this is how
Can
shit's
you-
That
supposed
nigga
to
look
happen.
like
Can
he
you
did-
explain it to people that might not know what happened, aka me?
Basically, once you saw all the videos
All
and you
together.
heard the lean dealer guy who was
Brother
basically
Nature does lean.
no, the
No,
other guy.
he wasn't. It was like they found the guy's social media and just like saw that he was a plug and was like selling pints and selling weed.
Bro, he was
and,
probably just quoting Shoreline, don't you think? Because he was
Man,
saying like,
right.
"I served 20 of them things this week." I'm like, that looks like a Jeezy
yeah,
lyric or
right.
some
I swear to
shit.
God. I swear to God.
I
No,
don't
look.
know.
Okay, so basically,
What happened?
it made it seem like the dudes were bullying him and was like antagonizing him.
As in Brother
as in
Nature,
Brother
okay.
Nature at first, because the video was first of like the dude who he fought recording him being like, "Nigga, nobody know who you are," which is like, why you record him if you don't know who he is, right?
okay.
So it came off like that, and then it was just the video of him getting beat up. So everybody's like all in arms, like fight, like, "Oh, Brother Nature, da da da,"
Yeah.
and then the whole security footage comes out, and it's like, "Oh, this nigga," you could. It kind of seems
Brother
like he was
Nature pulled up on
like he
someone?
was kind of being the aggressor, but it was supposedly after he came into the restaurant and I guess was like the restaurant's about to close. something along the lines of like he was just like, you know, irritated because he like tried to cut somebody in front of the line or something.
Yeah, he basically like once you watch the video, it sort of appears that he like pulled up in the restaurant and basically was like trying to eat there after they were already closing shit off of the clout.
So the employee
He
was
trying to-
trying to.
No,
Oh, someone else there. Okay.
He would, like
Wait, where
he,
does the lean come
like
in?
he either
There's no lean.
There's no
You're gonna be
lean.
listening for the rest of your life. There's no lean. It's just the dude who beat his ass
Was
basically
like-
appears to be a lean dealer based
okay,
on his
okay,
social
just like a
media.
trap nigga off his social media. You feel me?
Yeah, with a
So
cool
then-
belt like mine and shit. What, did
Yeah,
you see
no.
what kind of belt he had?
It was a Gucci belt. It was a Gucci
The
belt.
belt stood out a lot.
He had like a
Explain cool. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
You
kidding.
think my belly ain't cool? Fuck you.
okay, like you know, like that brand visual, like just like it's just like he had like one of those shirts on with like a girl in a bikini, like with their ass out, with like a Gucci belt on. Like he was just very like just much like Hispanic Floridian plug. You feel me?
He looked like if you
He looks like Lil Pump's cousin or something.
if you pulled up
Lil
no, for real, he looks like he's
literally
probably used to
By the
kicking
way-
with Lil Pump. No, he looks like if you were with a rapper and you asked me like, can you get me a lean plug in
And that's the
Miami,
nigga that's
and
pulling
I
up.
sent a plug, it would definitely
It
look
would
like this guy.
1000% be him.
I'm surprised I don't know that. I should check his Instagram
Might
because I
be.
bet he's DM'd me.
You might have noticed.
think the
it.
guy who
You
fucked
talked
up-
to him
Anyway,
before.
look. So
And
then
the other thing that made Brother Nature look like an asshole in all of it is
Yeah.
that Keemstar apparently had a conversation with Brother Nature, and Brother Nature more or less told Keemstar like,
fuck off.
don't cover the story because then I'm not going to be cool with you, and like left Keemstar with a hugely negative impression of him, where he was Keemstar was basically like, this guy's
Fuck
an
this guy.
asshole. He's full of himself. Brother Nature blocked Keemstar because of all this.
damn.
I mean, from my experience, Brother Nature has always been basically exactly as he seems to be on the internet.
I never met
Super
him.
nice guy, fun, chill, easy to be around.
Yeah.
That's what like Yachty said and other people said too. Like, oh
But
God,
he
love him.
pulled up in the restaurant, drunk as fuck, on vacation in Miami, acting a little bit crazy. I mean, it
That's the
doesn't
wrong
really
place to-
surprise me.
That's the wrong place to be acting crazy too. Niggas would get
Yeah.
active with you real fast.
Bro, I mean, if you, I consider myself a nice guy, but if you see me drunk as fuck at 2 in the
It could
morning,
be just a bad situation.
maybe I'm not going to be as nice. Although, actually, knowing me, drunk as
probably
fuck at 2 in the morning, I'm going to be super nice.
I would just be in my bed sleeping.
Yeah. That wouldn't be me now. That's why
Yeah.
if you're Brother Nature, bro, it's like it's a big old liability for you to be running around the city with your girl who looked bad as fuck for the record.
I
don't
didn't
know
even
if I've
really
ever
see her in the video. Like she was in the restaurant with him at first, and she walked out, right?
Yeah, the diaper.
So
yeah.
where was she at the whole time? He was getting his ass beat.
Probably feeding the fucking information to all the lean dealers. Probably trying to roll with the lean dealers after seeing that shit. I don't know.
She wants a Gucci belt.
You think they took? You know, he ain't getting her Gucci belt.
A cool belt.
I feel bad, man. But I still feel like if he like. It's a weird situation for him because he already has this nice guy image.
Yeah.
Getting beat up one time is not going to change his fucking life. He's still going to be able to get deals with brands. He's still going to be popping on social
Yeah, who
media.
cares, yeah.
It ain't really going to change that much. But it does sort of open up like a weird opportunity for him to maybe like humanize himself a bit more and just come out and have a real conversation about what happened. But for him, it's like
don't seem
if
like
he
he's-
ignores it,
It'll go away.
whatever.
Hopefully
It's going to go away.
A
for
learning
sure, yeah.
lesson for him. And
But
yeah,
people were like coming out the woodworks and saying like, oh, like he's been an asshole and like,
Really?
I was seeing tweets like that, but I don't.
I mean, I think he
I never
do-
met him.
I don't know too much about what Brother Nature does for animals, but he helps out
fucks
at like
them.
reserve. He does not fuck them.
Okay, he doesn't fucking.
He like goes to reserves and donates and this and that. Correct.
It seems like he be
You know?
doing good shit, man.
Yeah.
Seems
so
like he
I
does
think
good shit.
you know,
Everything,
But
if you
You can do good shit, but don't be trying to get active
Right.
with niggas in the pizza shop.
You are
hopefully
not.
he learned his
You should
lesson.
not be judged by the worst thing you ever did in your life. So
Exactly.
from when I look at Brother Nature, it's like maybe the worst thing you ever did was you were
being-
13 and you tweeted about white supremacy, and also
cares?
you pulled up in a restaurant and you got beat up by a lean dealer. But if you're overall a good guy and you
Yeah.
fucking
Fuck
live a good life and you take care of the donkeys and shit, fuck
Canela.
it. That outweighs.
That weighs out
anything
way more.
bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fuck it. You just keep moving in a positive direction. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna
man.
remember.
I mean,
this
just
shit.
keep flexing on niggas. If niggas don't want to let you fucking in the pizza restaurant, then you got to have 10 niggas with you next time.
And if I'm Brother Nature running around the city, I mean, hey, at this point, when you have like fucking 10 million followers, maybe it's time to have a big homie with a ratchet on him, you know?
Or maybe just time to have like 3 big niggas that could just beat niggas up for you all the time.
Even
too.
one. If he had one
If he had
fucking-
one other person with
Yeah.
him, that would have been a fair fight.
Yeah, like think about the average like security guard dude outside of the store or whatever who's just like a big dude, doesn't even have a stick on him.
Yeah.
You have that dude with you, that whole fight doesn't even happen because he's gonna make sure that the fight doesn't happen. If he had a real security guard with him, as soon as Brother Nature started yelling at the motherfuckers, the security guard is gonna diffuse the situation, drag you out of there. He's gonna get you away from the. It's like
That's facts, bro.
Well, I want to see this video.
you didn't see it. What the fuck is
No.
wrong? You didn't go online on Saturday?
Saturday. I've been busy working on stuff.
I don't blame you because this is why it tripped me out. Is because
I was just on Juice
Saturday,
WRLD.
that was like the only thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sunday, you could have swore it never happened.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, I got a tweet from that guy, Almost Crip,
Yeah.
about it. And
That guy,
that's
like
how-
he wasn't on the
Yeah,
podcast
right.
with you.
Our friend.
Yeah, Courtney.
Our friend, that guy.
I seen Courtney.
Our friend,
tweet.
that guy.
Courtney saying the Perks is undefeated for real. I'm like, damn. Like
Wait,
that meme is a
what?
little bit rougher,
Oh,
you know.
man.
Like that's. I mean,
Okay, can we
but
talk about
kids
it
should
then?
know that. Like like you're not smarter than the Perks. They're gonna get you
Never.
eventually, bro.
Never.
Something
Okay,
else that we forgot to talk about last week that I kind of want to touch on is, did you guys see Uzi posting? Well, also we didn't talk anything about
talk
the
anything
shit
about
that Uzi was saying on fucking Twitter.
We didn't
Any
talk
of
about
it.
that
At
all.
all.
On this show, or was that last
Week. That was last week. We didn't talk about it at all.
We didn't
Okay,
talk
we're
about it all.
current events podcast. We don't got to be completists. We just got to talk about the things that we think we could fill up
Yeah.
roughly an hour and a half with on some.
I
good
thought it was
shit.
pretty important, especially him not being cool with Cardi, and then the stuff with like working on Dying
Yeah.
Producer.
Will
guy.
Uzi be involved with the Iggy Azalea Playboy Cardi baby?
Will he be at the
Probably not.
baby
No,
shower? Probably not.
He said they're not cool.
They're not cool, but
Look
what?
at you tying into current this
I
week.
mean,
event.
I'm just looking
He
at
made-
the Iggy Azalea thing because that was the other thing. That Iggy Azalea shit came out right in the middle of the Juice shit in the same day. Iggy,
I barely even saw it either.
Iggy and fucking Cardi having a baby on the way would be mega massive news if it had
Yeah.
happened any other day. I'm always fascinated by how shit happens like that because you'll have one big thing in the news and it'll make everybody ignore some other shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know those McDonald's things that they used to give away in the newspaper, so you could take all the stamps and
Like on the-
play
on the
Monopoly
drinks.
with
Yeah,
that shit.
on the drink.
You know
Yeah.
that they exposed a huge, crazy ass story where a dude had been basically like the guy who picked the winners of those fucking games. He got exposed for cheating and letting all these people that he knew win those games, and he was taking a percentage of the money and shit. But when
Fire.
they reported it in the news, guess what? 9/11 happened a couple hours later,
my
so
God.
nobody knows about it.
Anything that happened that
Damn.
day is
You
just
know,
fucking
yeah,
irrelevant.
9/11 erased everything that happened a couple of days before or like weeks afterwards. It's like, who gives a fuck about anything? Even like,
Yeah.
I knew people who died like right before 9/11, just coincidentally, and it was kind of like motherfuckers just didn't really talk about them dying that much because 9/11 was so overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, just like the whole country took a fucking.
Yeah, I saw like one Shade Room fucking repost on someone's story about the
About
Iggy
Playboy Cardi.
Azalea.
I mean, Iggy just got her booty tuned up, and now she got a baby coming out. She's gonna
How
have
you
to
know
get
she
it
got her booty
retuned.
tuned up?
She
I'm
did a little while back,
looking
I
at her
think.
booty tunes.
Oh, I'm looking
she
at
got
her
the.
booty.
Oh my god.
She got the stupid.
It's
booty.
funny. Me and Kim were watching some donations, and it was this girl rapper, and it was like her friend in the video just had the fattest ass, and she was like, Kim was like, I would have not ever noticed that this girl like had a big butt if you didn't say that, and I looked, and I was just like, how do you not see this ass in front of you?
That's really like there's women and there's super women, and the super women have big
are
butts.
but then super women also notice when other girls have big butts.
Oh yeah,
They're
If
like, oh my god.
If you're with a girl who got a fatty, every other girl around is looking at the fatty or talking about the fatty. Especially in this day and age where you can just
Exactly.
say to a girl like, "Oh my god, you have
That's why
such a
I can't-
nice ass."
I can't date a girl who is not gonna be like that with me. Like, yo, look, that bitch got a fat. I'm like, oh shit, because if I'm thinking that and I say it out loud and you get like mad or whatever, then it's just like, it's just not
No,
gonna work, so.
I don't want to be in a relationship where I can't like look at another girl. What are you like as a girlfriend? Are you telling like your boyfriend like?
I
nah.
definitely don't think
like,
her
if-
boyfriend
I don't
is
think
like-
we're like.
Carmen Electra walks by and your boyfriend.
Carmen
you-
Electra,
you-
nigga, this not 90,
No, but a bad
1994.
bitch with some
This is
big
how
old
old he
titties. She
is.
walks by. She banned Biz on Instagram because Biz used to get drunk as shit and DM Carmen Electra with all of us in the group chat and just be like, "Yo, send us nudes." So she blocked
Oh my
him.
god.
She blocked him. I wake up one day and I see a DM to Carmen Electra. But anyway, yo, a bitch who looks like Carmen Electra walks by. Like everybody
Nobody
in
in
the
this
whole
chat knows who Carmen Electra is.
Okay, a hot woman, a really hot woman walks by. Your boyfriend just straight up like,
I mean, I think I'll look at her too and be like, wow, she is gorgeous. But I don't
what if
say.
he gets hard?
Cap.
Huh?
What if he gets hard?
What if he
I'm
gets hard?
sensing the
I mean,
cap
I don't
sense.
know.
You
I'm not
reach down.
checking his.
But what
fucking-
if you were? My
be
girlfriend does it
like-
to me.
Girls be checking all the time.
I mean, no, she does it to you when you look at guys.
That one time, yeah, but just in general too.
Whoa, she did what?
No, if Carmen Electra walked down the street and I was
Uh-huh.
staring at her like that and like really like distracted, my girl definitely might be like,
I mean, I feel like everyone's able to appreciate a beautiful man or woman. Like even if you guys as men see a fucking hot ass dude with like 6'5" and 8 abs,
The difference
you're
is
gonna
that
like
the standard
6'5"
for
and
us,
8
the
abs.
standard for us to comment on how good looking a guy is he'd have to be like outrageous. It would have to look like fucking Fabio or
I mean, if
some shit.
I was like this, like,
Fabio.
You know?
and
It's
I
like
start dripping.
I'm trying to think of like the
Start
hottest
dripping.
dripping.
What?
goddamn.
That's like the
I'm trying to think of like the
equivalent
That
of
was
me getting
extreme.
hard.
That
Who's
was
the
a-
hottest dudes we know?
Me. I'm the hottest
Lucas
dude I know.
Sabat. Are you able to sit here and be like, damn, Lucas Sabat is a good looking? I mean, he gets paid. He gets paid for being a good looking guy. It's
I
like
felt
you
that.
can't deny he's a good looking guy. He's like paid
Yo, this is such a
millions of
pause
dollars
conversation.
to be hot.
Wait, so what are we trying to say
Pause.
here? That you
No,
if
he-
we didn't
Agree?
know who Lucas Sabat was and he walked by on the street, would you say to me like, damn, that's a really good looking guy?
Well, to the bro? No. Why would I say that?
Because
if
it's
I was
reality.
with my girl, maybe I don't know. Oh, no, I'm not.
I
even
would
though.
definitely, if me and my girl walked by Lucas Sabat, we didn't know who he was, I would definitely say like, now that's a good looking guy. But he's dripping.
You'll be like that African American over there, my fellow African
Young
American.
mulatto gentleman to the left is quite attractive.
I mean,
Mulatto?
and I just think in general, guys. I mean, or maybe it's just me. I don't really
Girls are
like.
just hotter, bro,
I don't
so there's
really
hot
like
girls
look-
everywhere.
I don't really
Yeah.
check people out on the street.
What?
Like,
I look at everybody.
I really don't. I don't give a fuck.
I analyze everyone because-
actually no, never mind. I do have friends. I'll see like guys in cars and be like, "Oh my god, he's so hot," and I'm like,
Where'd
"Why
you
are we
see it?
looking in the cars of
Yeah.
other cars?"
You have no sexuality. Yeah.
I know. I
No.
used to think I was asexual for.
I still think
Good
that about
bit.
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
me
it
too.
might be.
You think? Do you think you enjoy sex way less than the average person?
I don't want to talk about this on the podcast.
I was about to say I don't think she's like.
I'm not like one of the people that you interview that you ask like, oh, so do you like booty sex?
You like booty sex?
Do you ask people that?
You ever smoke a
Yes, the
backwood?
whole interview with the fucking woman that was dating Aaron Carter, it was just like, so anyways, wait, so like, do you eat ass?
Shit.
Wait,
Right,
do you take it up the butt?
I said, are there videos on the internet of you cutting a turd? She's like, wow, she got so offended.
She's so nice
Yeah.
and like just looks so soft.
I could so see you dating her.
Dating her?
Jenna Shea? Yes.
I mean, she just texts me about Aaron Carter all the time.
she hits me
What'd
over
she
the phone, too.
say?
She sent me that video first of Aaron. Well, actually, no, I sent her that video of Aaron.
What are you texting her about?
That's the homie. I was trying to bring her
That's
back.
the homie.
I was trying to bring her back on the
Yeah,
show.
he does have a lot of homies.
I was trying to bring her back on the show, but this nigga was cap on her.
Just at that time. I'm willing to have her back now, although
We're
I
supposed to have
I
Cash
wanna
Quan
meet
on
her.
it too.
She seems cool.
No, she.
Casher Quan soon. Whenever he's back, I want to
Oh
do
wait,
that. Yeah.
Cash-
can we talk about
Quan.
this? Or no?
Bro, I mean, we could end with this, but I mean, Casher Quan has a fucking clip up of him recording in the studio. You want to represent the bars that he said? Like, I feel offensive even repeating it.
All right, so I don't want to repeat
You
it.
can't play it because it's like
I'm not
him-
gonna play it.
It's him punching in, so it's like him in the studio rapping, and he literally spits the words.
Hey, wait, let me say.
I don't want to say it because it's going to seem like I think it's funny in reality.
I don't wanna
it's
say it. I
sort
don't-
of funny, but it's mostly offensive.
It's just like
Why
why?
are we talking about this?
Okay,
So
Yeah,
bad.
doesn't it seem bad?
Why are we bringing it
Yeah,
up?
go figure it out. If you want to go watch
Yeah.
the video of Casher Quan recording.
out Casher Quan,
Let
though.
us know if you think it
I
was
know he didn't mean it
offensive.
like that.
Everyone-
We'll ask him about it when we interview him.
There we go.
When is that happening?
When he
Whatever.
comes back to LA, I'm trying to get. This is very top secret.
What? Also, what number are we on? Episode
21. We can drink.
21 full
We can finally
weeks.
drink.
We can drink.
I can't believe we
Is that
did this.
exciting?
If
Are we
every
ending right
week
now?
was a year.
Hey, make sure to come to my set.
I was gonna say
1
that.
p.m. Rolling Loud this motherfucking Saturday. Let's fucking go.
1
Juice WRLD,
p.m.
Juice WRLD tributes everywhere, baby.
I will
You
be
know how the fuck
hosting
we
the
rockin'.
live stream, so pull up. I will have condoms. We have a Rolling Loud collab that will be available at Rolling Loud.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Why'd the burps just hit me?
Also, guys, for my EDM heads, I will be DJing at Avalon Hollywood December 20th with Benzie. Come check me out. Also, I'm doing his radio show December
Who's Benzie?
16th.
Let me get a table.
on. I will get you a table.
Yo,
Please
first
come
time
through.
ever, I'm
on
gonna fart into
Sirius
the mic.
XM Diplo's Revolution December 16th or 17th. Fuck.
How'd that sound? I was moving around. I didn't
Oh,
really
you
hear.
farted? I
No,
was too
no, I
busy
didn't fart.
talking and
No
announcing
Jumper
it.
Show episode number 21. Appreciate y'all.
Wait, stay tuned. We're gonna be live streaming me and House Phone.
That's real. Damn, I really farted in that thing.
Did you really? You're so gross. I'm so glad I don't ever sit there.